Okay,
Welcome to Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Mac Disfatt Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes,
most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
and Matt, or Regan.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely would take the shot on it because he'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
And welcome into Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast. Thank you very much for joining us on this lovely evening. Ryan, the Tagless Haynes. A little hot out today, a little humid, but we're cooling off now.
Sun's out, guns out, baby.
That's what I did, back and buys, and now my back's really sore, so I guess I'll take the IR spot for Regan, because Regan is not here tonight with us. I guess he has some sort of excuse, I suppose. What did you say he had?
I don't know. He's probably getting drunk somewhere.
On a binger, traveling the world, breaking legs, his own legs probably.
Definitely getting concussed. Yep.
Definitely getting concussed. I bet he has a headache. That's for sure. But Regan, we love you. He and his wife, his lovely wife, have a new baby daughter that they welcomed into this world this week. So I guess we'll let Regan have the week off for the next week or the week after. So takers, I'm sorry, but we're going to be fully healthy, no injuries on this podcast because Regan will be taking a little hiatus, but he'll be back. Don't worry. But Ryan, June 9th. Wow, I almost said June 29th. I'm jumping the gun there. June 9th, 2022. We are going to get into the danger zone, which we're going to talk about players that are a bit dangerous to draft right now. According to the ADP right now, that is. But later in the redraft season, when we start going, maybe things will settle out. But right now, I don't know. It's a bit risky for those drafts. So we'll get into that. We got a few players to talk about. But all is good in the world, man. The Celtics are winning. The Sox are winning. That bitch Amber Heard lost her case to Johnny Depp. So I don't know. I say we're all winning, Ryan.
Can we bring up the leftovers a little bit and make them the appetizer? And have you seen the new Top Gun yet?
Oh my gosh, dude. You're like reading my mind. So the leftovers we save for the end of the episode. We open them up, talk about whatever we want. It's usually movies. So Ryan, you're bringing that up. Yes, I saw it in IMAX. Freaking amazeballs. What'd you think?
I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the reviews were outstanding. So I'm like biting at the chops to get there.
Best movie I've seen in like the past 2 years. So yeah, highly recommend.
Every time I go to the movies now, I go see Sonic 2 or Hotel Transylvania or whatever other cartoon is out. So that's my movie going experience for the interim.
Tough life being a family man, huh?
Yeah, it sure is.
But yeah, not having kids, I could go to IMAX at 10 o'clock at night, go see Top Gun. Freaking amazing. But yeah, I do have something more on that in the leftovers. So stick around for that. But it's not about the movie. Kinda, technically. I'll explain later. Ryan, I wanted to get a tip-off question here. So I sent out on our social medias, Just a Tip, FFP, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find us there. The tip-off question tonight. Luke Peltz, he was sending in one, and it's very important. So kind of important. What is your go-to game day food? Playing or watching the game?
So playing football, what is my favorite game day food?
Yeah, what do you eat before a game? Before you played?
Oh God, man. I'd say, Jesus, in high school, a bowl of cereal and a turkey sandwich. Just enough to slow me down, I think.
That's terrible. I load it up on pasta and steak every time.
That's the night before, not the day of.
Oh no, I
think
do it
like
like 2 hours before the game.
that doesn't make you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're just carving up before the game.
No,
That's not what you're supposed to do.
Cereal, come on. That's all sugar, not carbs, and they're different. Oh, no,
true.
but what about watching?
Watching the game, right now I'm in like a chicken parm mood. So chicken parm sliders,
There you go.
those are probably my favorite at the moment.
Yeah, I'm on a chicken bacon ranch kind of kick, so but it's terrible. Been going salads with chicken, bacon, and light ranch. Ugh,
So you going like
not pizza.
CBR pizza? Is that what you're going?
I would love to right now. I haven't done that in a while though. Trying to drop weight, man. It's beach season. Another question we got though: would you rather take a kicker or a defense before you get to the 10th round, or would you rather just quit fantasy football altogether?
Yeah, basically. I mean, listen, never draft a kicker or a defense before the 10th round. Let's just preface it with that. If my hands were tied and somebody had a gun to my head and said, pick a kicker or a defense, I would say that the more consistent position is kicker, and it's more predictable, where defenses, you just play the matchups and you're likely to get a decent score, with the exception of the 2000 Ravens, the 2002 Bucks, and the 2013 Seahawks. Then maybe you're looking at like before the 10th round. I might take one of those defenses.
Maybe.
What do you think?
I'd never draft a kicker. I pick them up after I find out if anybody on my draft picks of the 15 get hurt in camp, depending on when we draft before the game start, and then I'll pick up a kicker. Defense, yeah, kind of the same thing. I wait till like the last 2 rounds, so I would not do any of them. I think I would just quit. It's no fun anymore.
But no, the question is, you got to answer it before the 10th round.
Oh
who
my
are you
God.
picking, kicker or defense?
I would pick a kicker then. They're more consistent with points than a defense.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to piss you off
Tucker,
with that
baby.
question. Justin Tucker
Jesus.
or Rodrigo Blankenship. Shout out to Dave Richards talking about this. CBS. Colts, past 3 years, top 7 in kicking points. So
you were thinking he's taking the jump to K1.
He could, as long as he stays healthy. He did get a little bit injured the past couple of years. So,
all right, this is how important kickers are. That is the first time I've said K anything. So that means they do not matter as a fantasy position whatsoever.
Yep, you're right. And we already lost a bunch of listeners, so let's skip the kicker talk for the rest of the night, please. We'll talk about some more important players. Ryan, in your briefs, which special requests? They want you to be dressing up like Brady at the SIG, giving your news briefs. Eddie, can you strip down for the people?
What do you mean, this?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, that's the first time I've seen it blown up. I'm like, is that my face or Regan's face? I don't know what's happening. So, man, I lost some weight there.
Look at your body there. Yeah.
Yeah, I look good. Yeah,
You're just gonna give the news that way, please.
You got it. It's gonna be a long brief. So I don't know if you want to look at that for like the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably not.
Sweet sassy molassie.
All right, well, listen, we got a lot of news, and this is going to take up the bulk of the show, but hopefully it's fun, it's entertaining for you guys, and hopefully we're not just beating a dead horse with some of this news. But Cooper Kupp, I'm going to start with him. He gets paid, but he doesn't get paid as much as some of the other wide receivers who have gotten paid this offseason. So he gets 5 years, $110 million as an extension, which is a bit lower than Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. So, Mac, what are you thinking of this deal? Did he get a little bit of? Did the Rams get a little bit of a discount? Did he take a little bit too much off the top?
They took advantage of him being so nice. He sent out a long post that I read on his Twitter. But after winning the Super Bowl, you're like, all right. I know I'm the best. I'm the best wide receiver in the game right now. But yeah, all right. I'll give you a bit of a discount to keep the team together, to run it back. So I don't get it. The salary cap just doesn't matter anymore, I guess.
Oh, not for the Rams. I'm not even sure. Like, I don't even think they have a salary cap, man. I think like
They
there's a
don't.
behind the scenes like agreement that the Rams have no salary cap and everybody else does. I don't know. So one thing that I thought about when I saw this and I was thinking about him taking less. So one side of it that people don't talk about a lot are endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a Super Bowl championship team looking to repeat. They loaded back up. They're in LA. Like, is that something that maybe his agent's looking at? Like, all right, you stay in this position and you can rack up more money in endorsements than say if you went elsewhere, like, Tyreek to Miami or Devontae to Las Vegas or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, taxes got to be ridiculous. So I don't know. That's a lot to weigh out there, and we're not good at math. So, but yeah, he should get endorsements, but he doesn't seem like that type of flashy guy either. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a good point. But yeah, longevity, it's probably the right move for him instead of trying to make the biggest amount in the shorter amount of time. So,
No, agreed. And listen, here's another extension. Aaron Donald, 3 years, $95 million, baby.
Here comes the money.
he teased that he might retire if he doesn't get a contract, and they're just like, okay, all right, fine. We're going to pay you all the money besides what we're paying Cooper Kupp. This is why I don't get how they could do this, or why any player is going to listen to any owner or GM say, yeah, we can't afford that. Be like, yeah, okay, sure.
Can we do something for next episode? Can we get a graphic of what the Rams salary cap situation is going to be in like 2025 or 2026? All of this stuff has got to be completely backloaded. And we got to get that graphic. We just got to
I know
get that.
like 25 million was a signing bonus and for Aaron Donald here. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I got to look into it more, but I also didn't want to be bored.
Yeah, fair. All right, so we'll move on to the next thing. So this isn't really boring. This is actually pretty interesting and quite frankly a little sad. Aaron Rodgers says it's time for Allen Lazard to get his chance to be the number one wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers. So basically, the Packers trading Devontae Adams for Allen Lazard, and now Lazard is skipping OTA, so he used that as leverage. Because he wants a new contract. He wants to get paid like all the other receivers are getting paid right now. He wants that Christian Kirk $21 million a year. I mean, is he really going to be the main guy? Wide receiver room is Lazard, Sammy Watkins, rookies Christian Watson, and Romeo Dubes. And you can't forget
Dubes
Juwan
or
Winfrey.
Dubs?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's Double Dubs. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not none of the above. Rather, it's Aaron Jones. That's the only guy I'm looking to get on this team.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit more about Aaron Jones later. I'm excited to get into that a bit.
Alrighty,
but I'll go into this now. So OBJ, there were some rumors that he was going to be heading back to Cleveland. Obviously, there was some other shit that went down this week that we'll also get into. But OBJ
poor
is
choice of words.
Probably not going to get re-signed by the Browns. So do you think maybe the Packers? I'm holding out hope for that.
Yeah, Packers would make sense, but he did crash Sean McVay's wedding too, so I don't know. I think he likes it in LA. I wouldn't want to go play in the snow.
You think that's inevitable? A return to LA?
I think so. I think they're just waiting for him to rehab and stuff, and then they'll work out the contract later.
I just picked him up in my salary cap league because the longer this offseason plays out and the longer he waits to sign a contract, I think the more of a discount whatever team he signs with gets. So plus you get the torn ACL. So somebody had dropped him, and I was like, sure. He can't have a huge contract. So we'll see.
I like it. Good move.
All right. Jerry Jeudy injured, groin tweak, could be available as soon as next week. This has been a pretty news-filled offseason for Jerry Jeudy. I don't think that was his plan. So what do you make of this? Anything?
Not in this way. He wasn't planning this. So I don't know. I was discussing with Regan last episode. We were doing our draft, and I passed up on Jerry Jeudy. I don't know. I need to see him prove it before I draft him for a long term. He's had a couple flashes, but I know you're high on him in Dynasty. But
Yep.
what if he's just another injury guy? Just a couple games here and there, but you're just gonna struggle. Or maybe it'd be like Deebo Samuel, struggle first couple years and then break out. So
Yeah,
it's
that
still
could
early.
happen.
It's still
so hard
early.
to tell.
It's only the summer. They're gonna be cautious. They're not gonna do anything. They just sold the team too. I don't know if that's in your briefs to Wally World. The Denver Broncos, that is. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that. Who did they sell it to?
To people that own Walmart.
Oh, nice. Well, great. Now they're in the NFL. That's awesome.
And now they're talking to Peyton Manning about coming aboard and being part equity owner too. So yeah, they got a whole lot of stuff going down over there.
It's a good thing Cortland Sutton got a $60 million contract, because now they're going to be making $12 an hour there.
Oh, where is that?
Get boom, tough acting, acting.
There it is. Oh man, but yeah, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, anytime you see a guy's name in the news repeatedly for, negative thing after negative thing, although so far they've been minor, it's like you just start getting a little nervous. You're like, all right, what news is going to drop next? Because this is not going in a good direction.
Would you buy low on him right now?
I don't think he's going low. I don't think so. I would for sure, but growing tweak.
It's worth a shot.
We're 3 months out.
It's worth a shot.
We're 3 months. Go ahead.
I'd be nervous with him if I had him. All right, what else we got?
Dalton Schultz is skipping the rest of OTAs because he is unhappy with his contract. This seems to be a common trend, because these guys who have not performed ever really are getting giant contracts. David Njoku goes 4 years, $56 million, and Dalton Schultz is like, I'm way better than that guy. Why am I not getting paid that money? So, are you making anything of this at this point?
No, not at this point. Like you said, a lot of guys are holding out or holding in, like Deebo Samuel wanting a contract or to be traded from San Fran. Terry McLaurin wants to get paid. They all want to get paid, and it's understandable, especially when you proved that you are a playmaker like Dalton Schultz has been the past 2 years. So, and without Amari Cooper there now, and Gallup trying to come back from his injury, they're going to be very much dependent on him. So yeah, paid now. Get paid now.
He's got the leverage. If you don't have me, who do you have? You have CD, and that's it.
Pick up Turd Ferguson though, just in case he holds out a bit longer. Blake Ferguson, the guy they drafted.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. I'm like, we might need his actual first name here. I don't know. All right, the last thing I'm going to just touch on real quick, the other stuff we can maybe save for next week. So Deshaun Watson gets...
Jeez, we're not finishing with this. Go ahead.
20.
He already finished.
20, I'm not going to tell you. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Should I edit that out?
That's it. We're shut down. Canceled.
We're canceled.
24th allegation. There's talk now that there's really no chance that he's going to play this year, which lines up the team to start Jacoby Brissett week 1 right now. So I got rid of I'm going to spin this. I'm going to go in a different direction. I got rid of my 1 share of Amari Cooper in Dynasty. I traded him like 2 weeks ago for James Conner, which I am like super pumped about. But what is this? What happens to Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Nick Chubb? Like, what? Just real quick, what are you thinking about this offense right now?
Yeah, Nick Chubb's like the only one I'm interested in drafting from this team because Jacoby Brissett is terrible. He goes and destroys fantasy receivers. So yeah, good on you getting rid of Cooper. But he does target the tight end. So maybe you were right in your notes last week about Njoku being a sneaky start for a tight end after that signing. But yeah, I would be nervous if I was a Browns fan or have investments in that team. Because, yeah, I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's playing this year. Again, 2 years removed from the league. Oof, that's bad.
There's some talk that he might not play next year. That it could lead to a 2-year suspension, which if you just traded 3 first-round picks for a guy who's not going to start for you until the 24 season. Oh, man. That's such a Browns move. There's one more thing.
He's doing a very good. I'd quit. Like if you've been working out for like 4 days and that's all you get, and the going gets tough. If it's that tough, just quit.
They did quit the whole franchise. They quit in like 90? No, it wasn't. It was like 93 or something, right?
It was 93. They moved. They didn't really quit, right?
Yeah, but they kind of quit. The owners quit. They're like, we got to move. This city is jinxed, man. This is rough. One last thing I want to touch on before we move on to the danger zone. So 2 running backs showing up to camp. Lenny Fournette, Big Lenny, and Najee Harris, both over 240. So the question of the day is, who wore it better?
Ooh,
what do you think of this visual?
Looking thick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Najee's a bit more athletic looking, but he's getting that thigh rub there. Watch out, man. Then Leonard Fournette, what is he doing? What kind of walk is that? What are you doing out there? Get out there and start running. Everybody behind him's running. What are we doing?
I think he's winded, dude. I think that's it.
He might be winded. He's had some trouble though being lazy, right? Leonard Fournette, didn't he? In the past, they drafted him high in Jacksonville, but then the year after, he got fat and happy. Yeah,
that's been a reputation of his in the past. Not lately. Lately, he's had this little resurrection here.
Yeah,
but there's a lot. We got 3 months. He'll shave it off. Tom will whip him into shape over there.
I was gonna say I'm not worried about it. I'm sure he'll be fine. And Najee, since we brought him up, some reports that he's not going to be getting the same amount of snaps that he did last year, which is smart. Disperse his workload again, but he might not be that total workhorse that we expect from last year. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean that news basically he might shift from a top 3 running back to a top 6 running back. So floor is still very high, but yeah, I mean, if he had that same workload, he was in the conversation with like Jonathan Taylor, and can he outperform Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, absolutely. If he had Jonathan Taylor's offensive line, for sure. He was working with one of the worst in the league. So, I'm not worried. You might not get as many touches, but then you also got to look at who else do they have to help him out. So not many. They're trying to find that guy.
It's not Jalen Samuels.
It's not Jalen Samuels. It's not what's the guy? McFarland. It's not Benny Snell. Oh my God.
It's Ben Roethlisberger.
It's the slowest bus out there. Ugh, gross.
I love it. All right, so we got why don't you hit us with the Hurt Locker here?
Oh,
we got a bit of news there.
We do. I don't want to play the video drop without Regan here because this is his specialty. But I'll just play. I'll just play the drop.
Broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
That never gets old for me. So the Hurt Locker, we talk about the guys that have gotten injured. This usually happens during the season or right before, but right now, Kyron Williams, which we talked about in our rookie running back outlook back in episode 8, 9, something like that. Go look back. He broke his foot. So not quite his back, Ryan. So he could still come back in time for the season, but they really didn't give a window. So heal up. But Darrell Henderson, soft tissue issue. Say that 5 times fast. So are they regretting not signing Sony Michel? And I guess Cam Akers has really got to step it up, and hopefully he's fully recovered from his Achilles injury.
Yeah, I mean,
I know
from
we
a
saw him in the
fantasy,
playoffs, but he did look great. Yeah.
right. So maybe an off season of rest, kind of getting back into the routine of it all. From a fantasy outlook, this looks great for anybody who has Cam Akers in Dynasty and anybody that's going to draft Cam Akers and redraft, because obviously you have these injury concerns with running back 2, running back 3, and we've seen this historically when there's not a committee. The lead guy is going to get a ton of volume. He's going to score a lot of points regardless of who he is. So good news for Cam Akers. As far as the team, we'll see. Henderson's always kind of like tinkering around with these injuries and a broken foot. I mean, that's got to be at least a 2 to 3 month window. So you gotta expect that he's not going to be ready for the start of the season.
No, and I don't expect them to rush him back either. So take his time. Poor guy. But yeah, that's about it for the Hurt Locker. So we will get to the danger zone. We're going to talk about players, about their ADP and what's scaring us off, or we might take the risk in that danger zone as well. Are we ready to be hurt again by players like Christian McCaffrey again? Maybe. I don't know. We'll get into it. But you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify. Leave us a review there. Be much appreciated. 5-star, preferably, not a 1-star. You can write a review too as well. And download the episode and share our tips with your friends and family. Google and Amazon podcasts as well. And you can watch us to see these awesome overlays, our awesome ticker on the bottom that we don't read because you got to see it. It's funnier if you just go and read it. Just a tip, a fantasy football podcast on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Be much appreciated. I see a lot of you guys have been downloading our episodes. We see you over in England, Kennington Park. That's right. I looked all the way. I zoomed in rather. Kennington Park.
Nice.
You're downloading our episode there. Some people in the Bay Area too, in Oakland, San Fran too, Michigan. We appreciate it. And then, of course, all of you in New England, our friends and family supporting us. Much appreciated. All right. Great balls of fire, Ryan. Let us get into the danger zone. And for copyright issues, I cannot use the song.
Let us gingerly touch our tips.
All right, Ryan. So I wanted to lead off with a guy that has hurt me in the past, has probably hurt you guys as well. Michael Thomas, wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. His current ADP is at 58. He's not participating in minicamp. Supposedly he'll be ready for training camp, but why are we going to take the risk in the beginning of the 5th round, middle of the 5th round? I'm gonna say I don't want to do that. Jameis Winston is the quarterback. His completion percentage is at 59% for his career. Drew Brees, who made Michael Thomas great, the number 1 wide receiver overall, had a 67% completion percentage on his career. So tell me, Ryan, is Winston known for his ability to thread the needle?
No, not threading the needle. No. Airing it out, taking risks, going for those big plays. That is Jameis Winston.
All right. And Drew Brees, he really didn't throw it deep down to Michael Thomas. His average, looking at it, yards per target was just under 10 yards. So it's a lot of those slant routes. Doesn't get enough separation, but he didn't need to with Drew Brees throwing it to him. So Michael Thomas, he had difficulty in his career getting away from defenders, so the catches were contested. But Michael Thomas, he was just so good. He was amazing at coming down. What did he have? A 93% catch rate in that number 1 overall season he had.
Something crazy like that.
I drafted him in the first round the next year, and then, but he lost that loving feeling.
Yes, he did. He goosed
It's
us. He goosed us.
Oh, that was better. That did deserve the crickets there. Mine did. So yeah, he's also been posting his workout videos, and all the medical experts on Twitter are nervous. No, I'm just kidding. Not just Twitter. Real experts, professionals, not liking his workouts. So at this round, in the 5th round, I don't want Michael Thomas. I might take a chance if he falls to the end of the 6th, beginning of the 7th. I might take a chance, but in the 5th, around there, from going wide receiver, Michael Pittman, 24, new quarterback, Matt Ryan, better offensive line. I'd rather take a chance on him, who's trending up. Sorry, go ahead.
Less competition.
Less competition as well. All he has to compete with is the running back, really. Or Cortland Sutton over in Denver with a new QB and Russell Wilson. They both have much more promising upside. I'm not feeling frisky enough to take Michael Thomas there, so I will not be venturing into that danger zone. What about you?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think when you look at wide receivers, especially when you're trying to find value in these after the 3rd round or so, you're looking at quarterback play and you're looking at volume. And those are big question marks for Michael Thomas right now. And I think that's the big thing here is just question mark, question mark, question mark. And if you're expecting him to get back up to that wide receiver 1 ability, I think you're just kind of kidding yourself at this point. But I think you're absolutely right. I think this is like the common story with a lot of these guys is that they're about, in my opinion, a round or 2 off from where I would feel comfortable picking them. Round 5, there's still a lot of talent there. That's a very important round to kind of hit on. So
Absolutely.
Michael Pittman's going to get a ton of volume. He's competing with Alec Pierce, who's a rookie. He's competing with Paris Campbell, who's played 4 games in 3 seasons. And Mo Alley.
They say he's looking good though.
They've said that every year for 3 years.
I'm just trying to give you some hope.
I know, until he breaks his toe on the first route he runs in the first week of the season. But yeah, I'd much prefer Michael Pittman. I'd much prefer Cortland Sutton with Russell Wilson. Obviously, you got this Judy news, and he should be healthy, but they're still going to be airing it out a ton in Denver. So yeah, I think you're spot on with this. And I might even balk on Michael Thomas round 6, round 7, and just say, hey, I'll let somebody else take that risk.
Yeah, I got to see what he does in training camp and in preseason games. Maybe we see him out there. If I don't see him out there, I'm not taking the risk. Even if they say, oh, he'll be ready week 1. Like, nah, it's a no for me, dog. What about this, though? Looking a little bit ahead, Allen Robinson with the Rams. He sucked last year, but he was with Chicago. He checked out. Would you rather take the chance with Allen Robinson in a better offense than what he was with the Bears?
Here's the outlier with Allen Robinson to me is OBJ. If OBJ stays away from LA and it's just Kupp and Allen Robinson, I'd probably rather – here's what I'd rather do is I'd rather pick somebody else in the 5th round and then wait on a guy like Allen Robinson because there's better value there than picking Michael Thomas in the 5th round and taking that risk.
Agreed. I'm not liking the running backs around that area either, so that's why I haven't brought them up. All right. What's your first nominee for the danger zone?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy who's been widely discussed this offseason, and that's DK Metcalf. I think in Dynasty, people were selling DK early. And I think that was a mistake because in Dynasty, I still think he is a huge asset and is going to be a fantasy viable option for a long time. But in redraft this year, Right now, his ADP is 42. That leaves him in kind of the middle of the 4th round. And around that point, I just want to look for some consistency, and I want a sure thing. And I think I'm going to kind of swing away from receivers because you have a lot of inconsistent options there right now with Jalen Waddle, Amari Cooper, DJ Moore. But these are the running backs around that area: Brees Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs. I'd rather go with my running back 2 and wait on guys like who we were just mentioning, Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
They have better value than DK. DK could have big games. He could get targeted a lot, but with Tyler Lockett still there and Drew Lock throwing him the ball, that reads inconsistency all season long. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, he's also holding out for a contract too. But I'm curious, what if he gets traded to another team during the season to a better offense?
You can't bank on it. I'd much rather have a Brees Hall, who I know is going to run the ball 18 times a game and probably score 10 touchdowns.
So would you be willing to take DK in the next round, or are you just out on him altogether?
No, I'm not out on him altogether. I would actually feel pretty good with taking him in the 5th or the 6th round. As my flex option or as a bench option. He wouldn't be a bench option, but as a flex option, I would definitely want to take him, or a wide receiver 3.
Man, how the mighty have fallen. It's all about
It's
that
not him.
Quarterback. I know.
It's the quarterback play. Yep.
I know.
Yep. Who you got next?
All right. Well, I guess we're going to another crappy offense over here. So you might see a trend here. Saquon Barkley. Excuse me. ADP is at 22 right now. Ryan, are you willing to take Saquon Barkley instead of Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, and Leonard Fournette at 25, 23, and 27 ADP?
You know what's funny, Mac? I have Saquon ranked higher than these guys.
You do.
On my early rankings.
I knew it.
I think this is a big if he can stay healthy, if he can play in 13, 14, 15 games this year, he can sneak up into that RB1 territory. And the example that I'm going to give you here is Aaron Jones from last season. So Aaron Jones plays 15 games last year, finishes as the running back 11. I'm trying to pull up his stats. Computer's moving a little slow here. But he had less than, I think he had less than 900 yards. He had 60-something receptions for 400 yards. And I think he had collectively like 10, 12 touchdowns. So that's what it's going to take to get into that running back 1 territory. And I think Saquon is certainly able to do that. But it's the injuries. But improved O-line. They should be a little bit better. Second year with Galladay, Kadarius Toney. You have Wan'Dale Robinson coming into the mix. I don't know what he's going to give them as a receiver. But hopefully this offense can do a little bit more. Barkley's definitely going to be utilized in the passing game a lot, like he has been traditionally. So maybe. But I love Aaron Jones this year. I love Aaron Jones this year. I'm so high on him. So you tell me what you're thinking.
Well, you had most of the numbers right on Aaron Jones. It was 10 total touchdowns. He ranked 10th in PPR. That's mostly what our rankings are, guys. Sorry, I should have mentioned that at the top. Just under 800 yards rushing. But his yards per carry is 4.6. Saquon Barkley's is well below 4. So,
yeah.
But it's not his fault. I really didn't want to get into the stats with him. I didn't want to throw those at you because I honestly think it's unfair for him. He had one of the worst O-lines in history, but they do have a new coach, Brian Daboll, but you really can't predict how he's going to use his running backs. Is it going to be the same way that he did in Buffalo? Probably not, because Zach Moss and Singletary are not at Barkley's level of talent when he's fully healthy. But I'm just looking eyeball test. He's not passing it. I don't think he's going to ever be fully healthy. It's not going to justify a late 2nd round, early 3rd round pick for me. I'm out on it. I don't get why you're taking the risk there. It's just the offense. It's not him. Do you know where they ranked an offense last year? They ranked 32nd. No, 32nd in rushing touchdowns. What about touchdowns overall as an offense? Where do you think they ranked? 32nd. No.
Oh, damn it.
32nd. Right.
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here, man.
No. Guess where they ranked in the red zone?
32nd.
No, 31st.
Oh, come on.
I can't believe that worked.
God damn it.
We did not stage that. So there's just no way this offense is going to make a relevant leap for me and fantasy wise for me to take a player in the second round like this. Maybe the end of the third, but it's dangerous. One little stat. He would barely reach 1 yard per carry before he was hit by a defender last year. When he was rushing, so they had to pass him the ball and stuff, and it's bad. It was a mess there, and it's not his fault. I'm rooting for the guy. I just rather see him on your team than mine. At that
Listen,
round.
they got their tackle positions both sides figured out. They got Evan Neal, the rookie, on the right side. I think Andrew Thomas is his name on the left. And then they got a new assortment of guys in the middle there. So we don't know what this O-line is going to look like this year. So hopefully it's a little bit better. But yeah, when I look at these other guys, I mean, I just think they're more of a sure thing. Like my ranking of Barkley as 11 is wishful thinking. But Aaron Jones this year, I mean, he's the guy, right? So Aaron Jones, although he was running back 11 last year, he could be a top 5 fantasy running back this year based on volume alone. So
Could be.
I really like Aaron Jones. We got Fatty Fournette. He's probably going to get his points too. He's going to be involved in the passing game. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns, and touchdowns is going to be the difference here for these guys.
Fatty Fournette, man, it's Lardo Fournette. Come on.
No, it's Lardo Lenny. Come on, man. You set yourself up for that one. You couldn't even deliver.
Lardo Fournette. It's his first and last name. Come on, that's better.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. I do like Fatty Fournette though. That's good. Rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
He likes rolls. Just to let you know. Yeah. So instead of Saquon Barkley, I'm probably going with a wide receiver there at that position. If I already established my number one running back and a wide receiver, or Kyle Pitts. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
No.
That's too early.
Please don't.
That's too early. I'm just out on Saquon Barkley at that range. End of the third, I probably would take the chance on him because if he does bust there, it's not going to kill you.
Right. Running back 2 area.
Mm-hmm. All right, you got another guy for us?
Yeah, how about this young man, DeAndre Hopkins, age 30. Man. Yeah, ADP right now is 64, so we're talking early round 6. But we're talking early round 6 for a guy who is going to be out for 6 games. So if you dig yourself into that hole, if you dig yourself into that hole and you're missing 6 games without one of your starting wide receivers, probably either your wide receiver 2 or your flex spot, I don't know. Do you think he's going to make that much of an impact on the back end where you can take him over guys like, I don't know, running backs like CEH or Damian Harris or Miles Sanders or AJ Dillon? I don't think so. I think at this spot here in the 6th round, you wait for those 7th round receivers, those A-Robs, those who else did we talk about? Juju Smith-Schuster. We haven't brought up his name. I'd take him for sure. Darnell Mooney. I'd wait for him. I would pick a running back here, get some depth, especially if I'm taking Saquon in the 2nd round. And I would look at the 7th round on to get that wide receiver position taken care of. Brandon Cooks is another name who's going to be around 7th, 8th round. So too early for DeAndre. he becomes more intriguing in the 7th. He becomes more intriguing in the 8th. Maybe when you get past the Cooks, Mooney, Juju Smith-Schuster area, that's when I would kind of look at DeAndre as a possible option.
Yeah, because then after that, you get into Elijah Moore, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, I don't know. In that round, you're looking at. Yeah, that's probably where he should be. I mean, if you're looking right now, Mike Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown in that round, 6th area with DeAndre Hopkins. But I don't know. If I'm going wide receiver heavy at the beginning of my draft, and then you got to grab one of these running backs here, I mean, I get it. But I'm also thinking if he takes the first 6 weeks off, he'll be healthier for your playoff run. So if I go wide receiver heavy, I can afford having DeAndre Hopkins on my bench for those 6 weeks. So I'm thinking I'm flying into the danger zone here, man. That I might take him. I'm gonna have to do a mock.
Goose.
I'm gonna take a mock draft, and I'm gonna see how it works out. Where I take DeAndre Hopkins there, if I'm gonna go heavy wide receiver first, and just see if I like it. And I can be patient enough. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go off the off radar here and take DeAndre Hopkins in the 6th round here.
Okay, listen, I know you like that move. I know you like it. I think it's too early. I think you play it safe. You get your running back depth, and you try to figure out somebody else later. But yeah, it's very high risk and high reward for sure.
Yeah, it really depends on the context of your strategy there. If you're going running back, you better not take him there because you are going to need those wide receivers in that round to be playing right away. So, yeah, something I have to play around with.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, if you're planning on going wide receiver 6, wide receiver 7th, then maybe that makes it a little bit more palatable. All right, you got one more guy for us?
Sure, I can. I'll give it to you. Give it to you real quick. As soon as I find my notes. All right. Darren Waller, ADP 35, tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland. Idiot. So his target pace for the season was 133. That his average was just over 8 targets, excuse me, before he got injured to take him out for those 5 games at the end of the season, besides week 18, but we don't have to worry about that. So he totaled 93 targets on the season. They traded for Davante Adams because they need that red zone threat. That's where they were struggling, and that's where Davante Adams is going to shine. He demands 150 plus targets at least. I think he could get 200 targets, dude. We'll see. But I don't think McDaniels isn't going to game plan without Renfro and Davante Adams heavily involved in the offense. McDaniels likes those little white receivers. He's gonna put them in the slot, and he's gonna do well. So I think Renfro, he's gonna get at least 100 targets. I'm projecting more around 125. Mm-hmm. So then, Ryan, I know you're a fan of Josh Jacobs, right?
Yep.
Did you put out a Haynes brief for that? No,
not yet. It's coming.
It's coming. We're working on it. But sneak peek, you think he's going to get more involved in the passing game, right?
So actually, no, I don't. I think he actually tapers off from last year's production in the passing game. And briefly, the reason why I think that is just because there's so many other options. And last year, when he was getting heavily targeted, is when Waller wasn't in the lineup, Kenyon Drake wasn't an option, and it was really just him and Hunter Renfrow. So the difference, I think, with Josh Jacobs will be the touchdown production.
Gotcha. See, I actually think with Davante Adams opening up the field for him more, I think he's going to get a lot more dump off passes, but that's something we can debate later. Not that big a deal. He's definitely going to get a handful of targets though. So, okay. He's a sneaky draft pick though, Josh Jacobs. So anyway, get back to my point. Derek Carr, for the first time, was throwing over 600 times last season. So he usually is throwing around 550. So try to stay with me here. Throwing a lot of numbers at you for once. So 375 pass attempts I'm projecting to go to Adams and Renfro and the running backs as a whole, not just Josh Jacobs. I don't think we'll see the volume to Waller to justify that 3rd round pick. I'd rather wait until the 5th to get him. I'd rather go with my second running back in this position with either Jacobs here, Montgomery, or Connor, or my second wide receiver, depending how my draft is going out. T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin. Yeah, maybe not Metcalf after this discussion we had tonight. So, but I did write him in there because he's around that area. Then I'll take a tight end later if I missed out on Andrews or Kelsey in like the 1st, 2nd round. I'd rather take a chance on another tight end later because I think it's too many mouths to feed in this offense, dude. And I don't think he's going to justify that 3rd round pick.
I think 3rd round's too early. I do foresee him getting 100 targets again this season. I don't know what that number is going to be, but I do certainly still think he's going to be a top 5 tight end. But the tight end room isn't as bad as it's been years prior. I think there have been a few guys who have kind of jumped up into that very intriguing territory, which are like Zach Ertz and Mike Gesicki and Dalton Schultz. So you have some more options.
You're fooling yourself.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert. No, come on. Don't do that again.
Those are guys who are going to get 100 targets as well. So if we're seeing Waller's target volume is going to come down significantly, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think they will. If he was on his projection to get, what did I say, 133 targets, it's going to drop down to 100. It's just not going to justify that 3rd round pick. Maybe 4th round. Maybe, if I really want that tight end position established.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who do you got for your last guy?
Yeah, I was going to say, once again, it's just like a 1 or 2 round difference. Last guy here is who I had, which I'm still like questioning myself for, is Drake London, ADP 76, early 7th round. And the only reason why I say Drake London is because 1, I'm always a little skeptical of rookies. And 2, some names I like a little bit better there who I know are vets who are going to command 120 plus targets. These guys will get 120 plus targets if they stay healthy. And those are Darnell Mooney at 78, Brandon Cooks at 75, and Juju Smith-Schuster at 82. Those are the main guys in wide receiver rooms that are not loaded up. So I would rather take one of those guys over an unproven rookie like Drake London. If you look back at the top wide receivers over the last 2 years, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, the difference is quarterback play. Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins are a hell of a lot better than Marcus Mariota. So although I think London is going to probably command a lot of targets, I don't think Mariota is as bad as everybody's making him out to be. I just see some other guys who I'd rather have around this mark.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Excuse me.
Your excuse.
I got to edit that out later. I got all excited because I was reading about the Falcons today, and Felipe Franks is practicing at tight end.
Oh, my gosh. Tight end. Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, I know. Hey, get out there on the field somewhere. So are they that desperate for a receiver, a pass catcher?
Yes.
Yes, they are. So, yeah, I agree with you. Drake London at his ADP, I'm all set. I want to take that established guy. We're going to have to talk about who's going to make out better, Juju or MVS over in Kansas City now. But I much rather let somebody take Drake London at that ADP, get frustrated in the first couple weeks, and drop him for the hot waiver wire ad that's probably not going to work out that early in the season anyway. And then I will pick him up off waivers and then be patient. That's my strategy because I do love Drake London, but I agree with you. It's going to be a slow go at it. He will get his targets. He will get his flashes, but I don't think early in the season.
I think he's in that group you named earlier, which is like the Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore, like that group, Amon-Ra St. Brown, question marks. There's like a big group of question marks past Cooks, Juju, Mooney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the draft, in that 7th round, you're not wanting to take question marks. You want to wait until you get to 9 and above, or 9 and further, or double digits to take those question mark guys, because then you're not investing too much capital. That 7th round, and you're in a 3 wide receivers format with 2 running backs and a flex and a tight end, like that's a starter right there. You can't bank on a rookie wide receiver there. That has to compete with probably one of the best pass catching sensations in the game right now, Kyle Pitts.
Right, and limited red zone opportunities.
That too,
likely. So
a poor offense. So
yes,
we'll see. I like it, man. We did it. We flew through the danger zone. You can be my wingman. I don't know. I don't think we made it. But all I know, Ryan, is that you could be my wingman any day.
Gladly.
You haven't seen Top Gun, so
I haven't seen the new Top Gun.
Oh, okay. When's the last time you saw the original?
Oh God, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
We're not too far back. What do they call the things that they're shooting down? The little Russian things.
MiGs, the planes. The
MiGs. Yeah, the MiGs. Oh, it's a type of plane. I didn't know that. I didn't get any of the context within the story.
Oh my God. What were you doing? Making out with the whole movie? You didn't even pay attention? Come on.
No, I was just admiring Tom Cruise. I was thinking about that volleyball scene the whole time. It was just playing in my mind over and over again.
Oh God.
What do you got for leftovers?
So related to Top Gun, I'm not gonna suggest to go see the movie because we already talked about that, but Jocko podcast, he was a former Navy SEAL, so he has a lot of military guys on. So yeah, Dave Burke, a Marine pilot that went to Top Gun, he interviewed him talking about how much Hollywood was involved in this Top Gun Maverick movie, and how realistic it was. So I'm not going to spoil it. Check it out. Jocko podcast episode with Dave Burke. Top Gun. Something titled like that. It's a good one. Quick listen to. Much quicker than this episode. What do you got for leftovers?
I'm not much. I'm on episode 9 of The Offer. Still enjoying the hell out of that show. Yeah, I think that's about it. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, but I'm all for it. Oh, I watched Bad Vegan. That was interesting.
Bad Vegan. That was a good one. I like that documentary.
Yeah. It's amazing how easily manipulated people are.
Yeah, Bad Vegan was good. Good documentary there on Netflix. You have Apple TV though, right?
I do, yes.
Did you check out Severance?
No, not yet.
One of the best shows I've seen in a long time. Got some thriller aspect to it, mystery. Ben Stiller actually directs a lot of the episodes and writes it, so very interesting. A little bit of a slow burn in the beginning, but it's wacky and you're intrigued at the end of every episode. You got to see the next one. So
wacky, intrigued, and slow burns. That sounds like Saturday night with your mom.
Thriller.
Yeah, good night, everybody.